Hello and welcome to the Star Wars Guys YouTube channel where the Force is family. I am Master Paul,
And I am Mando on fire.
and we're going to have a bit of a discussion tonight about something that has set a good portion, if not all, of Star Wars social media into an absolute frenzy. And that is the news, as reported 3 days ago now on thedirect.com, that Kathleen Kennedy has allegedly been renewed for her contract for 3 more years. So, for those that don't know, her contract was supposed to end October 30th this year. However, that day has come and gone, obviously, and we heard nothing either saying that she's gone or that she's staying until 3 days ago, where this one site that I had never heard of before reporting how a guy who used to work at the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Kathleen Kennedy gets 3 more years at Lucasfilm. Now, I have that article pulled up here. We're not going to read all of it because it is a long article, but we're just going to skim it real quick.
Mhm.
Starts out, of course, talking about the history of how Kathleen Kennedy acquired her position as president of Lucasfilm, and how in 2012, not only did they announce that Disney was now owning Lucasfilm, George Lucas was retired, Kennedy was president, but that there's going to be a sequel trilogy and they're going to continuously come out with new stuff. Let's highlight this paragraph here. Jump ahead to the present day, late 2021. The sequel trilogy has been completed. Two spin-off films were released during the gap years. A handful of TV series have been produced, with nearly a dozen more in the pipeline. One would think Star Wars is thriving, but the franchise has been embroiled in nothing but controversy. Fan and actor reception to the sequel trilogy was mixed. By and large, Rogue One and Solo have been embraced by diehards, as have the live action and animated TV series, If Everyone Forgets Resistance Exists. Yet there has been nothing but constant bickering among the fanbase and internal turmoil at Lucasfilm. Overseeing all of this is Kathleen Kennedy. As Lucasfilm president, the buck stops with her. Ultimately, she is responsible when a project is a mess or a success. In recent weeks, calls for Kennedy to be removed from her position have reached an all-time high. However, Disney appears to be doubling down on the producer, as recent word suggests that her contract has been renewed for a significant amount of time. So, Michael, what is your immediate reaction to everything that I just read?
Well, we do want to preface this by saying that either way, none of this was going to be a surprise. No, by no doubt did we expect both Kathleen Kennedy to stay or to leave. But with that being said, based on the wording of this article, and we encourage everyone to take it with a grain of salt thus far,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like the doubling down sort of grammar and language almost depicts Disney to be somewhat defending Kathleen Kennedy and just dismissing fans' calls to either remove her from her position or just do something to provide better Star Wars content from their point of view.
Possibly. Um, I can't lie. This is not the news that I wanted to hear, but unfortunately, that is the reality we live in. Now, like I said, allegedly she has been renewed because, like I said, it's only the smaller websites that are reporting this, starting with the one I just pulled up, the Direct. Places like We Got This Covered, places like Collider, places like Screen Rant. Those are very biased fan websites. They are not the trades, as other channels have called them, places like Variety, like Forbes, like The Hollywood Reporter.
Business
I ch-
Insider.
yeah, Business Insider. I checked earlier this evening, and still those publications have said nothing about this. So, what does that mean? I can't say for sure. I've heard other people's theories on that, and you can certainly go check out those channels. But honestly, we don't know for sure what that means. However, I will say my gut feeling is that I do believe she has been renewed, and whether she sticks out that the full 3 years of that, because she is no spring chicken, but I do believe that she has indeed been renewed for those 3 years. It's just a question of whether she retires during that, which is anyone's guess. But later on, the article highlights something else. First off, let's talk about Disney Plus Day. The article says Disney Minus Day was, by all accounts, yet another embarrassment for the franchise. The event intended to get fans excited about upcoming projects and entice others to subscribe to Disney's streaming platform displayed unseen levels of marketing ineptitude. Reliable scoopers teased that footage for several series would be shown in various capacities. Lucasfilm and Disney promised exclusive announcements and reveals. The wrap-up video for the event even showed title cards for the 2022 Star Wars project set to debut on Disney Plus. So that's things like Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka, and even though it's coming out this year, it's coming out in the end. So I'm going to say Book of Boba Fett in there with that too, because it'll end in 2022. But nothing was shown, nor were any new shows announced. Marvel Studios once again stole the show, sucking away any potential wind out of Star Wars sales. The galaxy far, far away wasn't even second fiddle to the MCU. There was more emphasis put on Disney's original content, Pixar, and even National Geographic. While birdwatchers and people of nature were treated to a Comic-Con-esque event, the only thing Star Wars fans got was a condensed version of a year-old sizzle reel for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and even though they don't mention it in this article, that Under the Helmet, the Legacy of Boba Fett special that they did. So let's go back to Disney Plus Day itself, Michael. I'm sure you were excited to see what new Star Wars content was likely going to be there, as I was. And what did you think when basically we got next to nothing?
Well, I thought it was rather odd rather than disappointing, just because Star Wars is literally the cash cow of Disney Plus. Because think about it.
Specifically, this guy is.
Exactly. Like, one of the first shows that ever came on to Disney Plus was The Mandalorian. And what is The Mandalorian under? Star Wars intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to put out only a few photos for the Kenobi show, well, it was rather strange. Now, admittedly, I did like the photos that we got, just because those in of itself were interesting. But with that being said, it was a little bit odd that that's all we got.
I agree. I was also very disappointed too, because I was hoping for a full, at least, teaser trailer, not a sizzle reel, but an actual teaser trailer showing actual in-universe footage of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, doing his thing on Tatooine at the very least. But we didn't even get that. All we got was some concept art and some interviews with Ewan McGregor. The coolest thing we got in that clip, and just to cap off this tangent, was seeing Ewan McGregor swinging around a practice saber again. That was actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, aside from that and the Under the Helmet Legacy of Boba Fett thing, which, have you seen that yet?
I don't believe I have, no.
Yeah, I haven't either, but maybe we could talk about that Sunday. But anyways, that's all we got. So why so something had to be going on behind the scenes for there to just be next to nothing coming out with Lucasfilm. But then again, when you consider what the next thing I'm going to read is, excuse me, then perhaps it's good in a way that they had said nothing, because, where is it? there's news that came out that Patty Jenkins has left the Rogue Squadron project, and thus Rogue Squadron has been delayed indefinitely, which is basically code for it ain't ever happening. And she basically left allegedly due to creative differences, which this article does talk about a little bit down here. Let me find it. So this paragraph says, the phrase creative differences is industry speak, used to refer to the firing of a creator when said creator clashes with a studio. It appears that Patty Jenkins is next in a long line of creative heads who have been sacked by Kennedy as Rogue Squadron now goes on pause. A detailed breakdown of Lucasfilm's development and productions issues can be seen below, and thus a long list like that. It fills my whole screen, this long list of
And of course,
problems
pause
that,
this pause to read this list.
yeah, but of course I'm still going to hit some of the highlights. Solo, Lord and Miller were fired and Ron Howard was brought in to replace them. Rise of Skywalker, Colin Trevorrow, whose script for episode 9 that he would have called Duel of the Fates ended up getting leaked, and I think it would have been a little bit better than what we had gotten. But anyways, he was fired after his little independent movie, The Book of Henry, did badly, and JJ was brought back. Rogue Squadron, we just talked about that. Obi-Wan Kenobi, this guy Hossein Amini, was originally going to be the screenwriter, but he's not anymore. In fact, I don't think he's tied to it at all. Deborah Chow is. Andor, I didn't know this one. Showrunner Stephen Schiff was fired, and Tony Gilroy assumed show running. There was going to be a Boba Fett film that was canceled, and director Josh Trank was fired due to Fantastic Four's poor box office. There was going to be an Obi-Wan film that's canceled, and director Stephen Daldry was fired after several years of development, and the film was ultimately shelved due to Solo's poor performance because Solo lost money. Benioff and Weiss, they left Lucasfilm for Netflix because Game of Thrones Season 8 allegedly sucked. I haven't seen it. And then the latest one, and this is actually another article I'm going to share just really quick. Rian Johnson was promised a trilogy, if you remember. However, this new article that came out from Inside the Magic says Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy officially shelved, and it's not happening. So, just again, skimming this real quick, Rian Johnson became one of the most divisive figures in the Star Wars fan community following the release of The Last Jedi. Despite Johnson's own assertions to the contrary in an interview with journalist Soraya Wilson earlier this year, I'm sure we all remember that, it seems that his planned Star Wars trilogy, which was originally announced by Lucasfilm in 2017, has been shelved, along with Patty Jenkins's Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And then again, it also details out the history of projects that never saw the light of day. So the point of all of that is that there are problems behind the scenes with Lucasfilm, massive leadership and organizational problems if all of these projects are getting canned. And yet Kathleen Kennedy gets 3 more years. I don't know about you, Michael, but that does not make sense to me.
Yeah. I could honestly see this happening with a few reasons. Under the assumption that, yes, Kathleen Kennedy has been extended her contract, or renewed her contract, rather, for about 3 more years. And so, what if these creators were to be leaving because of that? And they know how intrusive Kathleen Kennedy could be so far as creative inspiration. Even if she isn't directly involved, she still is, for lack of a better term, the fall guy, because she's obviously the face of Lucasfilm right now.
And the captain always goes down with the ship.
Yes, but at the same time, it doesn't quite make sense, because you would think that the works of Rian Johnson, i.e., The Last Jedi, would be something that would be praised by Kathleen Kennedy based on some of the elements that were drawn from it.
Right. And of course, we can sit here and speculate all day as to why and how Kennedy got this extension. If this is even true, because like I said, the big boys in online journalism have said nothing about this so far.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they could prove us wrong and put it out and either confirm or deny it. But anyways, assuming that this is true, let me ask the following question. Is Star Wars dead because Kathleen Kennedy is renewed? And this is a question that everyone is going to have a different answer for, and honestly, there is no wrong answer here.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen plenty of people on Twitter, I'm sure you have too, Michael, saying various things to the effect of Kathleen Kennedy has ruined Star Wars and thus I will never watch it again.
Yeah.
And I hurt for those people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I couldn't disagree with that anymore, because Michael and I, like many others, like everyone watching this, hopefully, have been lifelong Star Wars fans. I've been a Star Wars fan for roughly 22 years, and you've been a Star Wars fan how long?
I lost count after year 1, let's just say.
Good answer. But anyways, and at least for me, there's been other franchises that have come and gone that have temporarily taken my attention away from Star Wars. Heck, arguably that's where Star Trek is with me right now. But I always come back to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And in spite of all of the bad, the truly bad stuff that has come out with Star Wars recently, both in universe and out, I'm not willing to give it up, because I still hold out hope that we get good Star Wars products. And I have said this multiple times, both on our channel and on other channels, that, in fact, I said it tonight on Echo Base Network at time of recording, that in a perfect world, if Kathleen Kennedy had done her job, we should barely even know who she is, other than being a line on the end credits of any Lucasfilm project.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't know as much about Kathleen Kennedy as we do, but we do.
And I do want to
go ahead.
And I do want to point this out, that there's obviously going to be people online who are going to, for lack of a better term, riot about the news that she might have her contract renewed. And of course, some of you may know who those people are. And again, I am not trying to hate on anybody. I am just simply giving the truth, where even if this sort of thing is true, this is my personal opinion, we just gotta admit, in the end, it's just a movie, it's just a series, and that will hurt, because some of us, like the two of us, have grown up with these movies, and they mean a lot to us. And of course, if someone were to basically ruin them, then it's going to hurt. But like I said, in the end, there's worse things to worry about. And I pray that this sort of thing isn't happening because of Kathleen's return, or these things are just a phase.
I agree.
But like I said, in the end, these are just movies, and that's just hard to accept. It's something that I know I'm going to have to accept.
Same here. Ultimately, here is my wish for Star Wars, and I think we're going to end the video on this thought. I know I've said this multiple times. I will say it again. If there is a possibility in this universe that we get consistently good Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy keeps her job, as for me, I'm happy with that. But if getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy is what it takes for Star Wars to get to that consistently good stature that it was back in the time of the original trilogy, heck, before 2012, and I'm saying this as someone that likes the prequels, of course, if getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy is what it takes to get to that point again, then this is an opportunity that we missed, and we're going to have to endure, unfortunately, 3 more years of controversy surrounding Star Wars. But hopefully, that is not the case. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and end this video there. So thank you guys for watching this. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And just remember, guys, now more than ever, especially, the Force is family. See you guys later.